Right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube and ladies and gentlemen on stream, for those that have never witnessed these before, welcome to the end of the month subscriber Q&A. This is at the end of the month where I take an hour of my stream and I put the chat room in subscriber mode to answer questions sent in by those that subscribed on Twitch. Does that mean that you have to subscribe or send me money in order to ask me questions? Absolutely not. I'm always available for questions during my stream, as well as you can always send me a PM on Facebook and I'll get back to you whenever I can, which is usually in the morning. I go through all the questions and I send my answers. This is just to give a little thank you to those who went above and beyond and subscribed to the channel. And yeah, this will be later uploaded to YouTube. So by all means, stick around, have a bit of fun. I will turn on the timer, gonna sit here for an hour, and let's begin the Q&A, shall we? Hi everybody, hi chat room. First question, will we see more Millhouse Manor in Legion? We will. Oh yeah. Before we start answering, I don't know what questions people are going to ask me in the chat room. I have no restrictions to this. There might be spoilers for Legion, and I will be answering them. So if you don't want any spoilers for Legion, then this is not the Q&A for you. And let me just say thank you very much for watching so far. Now is the time to turn off the video. Right then, will we see more Millhouse Manor in Legion? Yes, Millhouse Manor is going to show up in the Violet Hall dungeon, where his lovely wife, the name escapes me right now, is imprisoned. He shows up as a spirit and helps you out with the fight. And at the end he's like, what have you done? What have you released upon the world? Check out Fatbuster video on the Violet Hold. You can actually see it happen there. How do you think we'll get back to Azeroth? And I doubt it will be that easy to just go to Astran and enter the portal. Actually, Armory, I think that's going to be the explanation. If you've done the full Legendary questline, you've noticed that Khadgar's like, this is not over. There's more to come. And I think the simple explanation is there are portals all over the place. You know, from the very start, Khadgar opened a portal to get in reinforcements. We have our Hearthstones. There are portals all over the place. And I think that's going to be the explanation. I asked you once if you would explain the origination of the torrent. You answered you would make a video about it. I'm still waiting now, since it's 2 years ago. So would you soon make the video? Jodo Gaming, as I probably answered you back then, as I'm going to give you the answer right now, my plan with the channel is to one day cover each and every bit of the Warcraft lore that's available. But I can never give you a date as to when I'm going to do what video. I work on a weekly schedule, and I just can't give you a promise. Will we do the torrent lore? Absolutely. When is it gonna happen? Who knows? In the Catter cinematic, Deathwing swings his tail, mini earthquake in the Barrens, swings his wing, flood over Booty Bay, hits his head to the cave wall, major earthquake in the Barrens. Why the hell would he even go out from that cave when he can destroy all races by just doing that on repeat? Falls under the category as why didn't he just incinerate all of us instantly instead of doing all his scheming and planning. It's, yeah. Would make for a very short expansion, wouldn't it? You have to send him money to be famous, right? Couldn't Warcraft 4 do stuff like the Chronicles do and tell untold lore which would allow it not to conflict with WoW? Absolutely. I would love to see a Warcraft 4 set in the setting of the formation of Azeroth, for example. Titans versus Old Gods with the elements. Could make for a great storyline. But that's entirely up to Blizzard if they want to make a Warcraft 4 and if they want to make a new RTS. That's up to Blizzard. Do you think that Illidan and Malfurion will meet in Legion? And what do you think it will be like? Will Malfurion be sad? Good question. It's not really something people have asked yet. Is it possible? Sure. Anything's possible at this point. Do we have anything that suggests that it's gonna happen? Not yet, but it's always possible. How would Malfurion react to Illidan? Last time that Illidan and Malfurion spoke with each other was in Warcraft 3, where Malfurion was like, Maiev, stop chasing Illidan. He's cool. It's okay now. And then during the Burning Crusade, he was like, yeah, Illidan's gone pretty crazy after he was defeated by Arthas, so we should kill him. How would he respond? I would say in a positive light, to be honest. It seems like they, you know, had some brotherly love for each other after the end of Warcraft 3. And I don't really see that have changed, to be honest. If Illidan's just sane of mind, and there's actually going to be an explanation for his actions during the Burning Crusade, which it seems going to happen in the novel. All good, right? What time will tell? The issues have it go when end of the month subscriber Q&A thingy happens. Aww. Like I said, Facebook mate, just send me a message. What do you think of the name for a feral druid? Catnip Addict. For a Feral Druid. I say go with it. And Zetsturang and Clumstar, thank you very much for subscribing. Be welcome. Do you think Legion will have any old gods? Yes. The whole storyline of Oshera, where we see Xavius and the Emerald Nightmare, that is connected to the old gods. Chris Metzen has said that it was the old god N'Zoth connected to it. And that was also very much implied within the novel Stormrage. So that part is going to be old godish. And next to that, time will tell. Oh yeah, there's also the Priest artifact and the Arms Warrior artifacts. Both of them have old god minions in it. What is your favorite Zelda game? Hitashin asks. Hard to answer, because every time I pick up one of the older Zelda games, I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever. At first it was Ocarina of Time, then I picked up Majora's Mask, and I was like, oh, Majora's Mask is so good. Then I picked up Twilight Princess, I was like, Twilight Princess is so good. So picking my favorite is really, really, really difficult. Do you think that just the 20% damage bonus from the Legendary Ring will be good in Legion? I have no idea, mate. That is not my territory. What do you think of Bolvar in Legion? I mean, he's a cool dude. He's very frosty. What do you think of Bolvar in Legion? It's interesting. And sorry, I'm a little bit cold. Have a little bit of a cold. But Bolvar in Legion is very interesting because he seems to be very two-sided. On the one side, he seems very Lich King-y and very dark. On the other side, he's trying to help us out, and he seems to be the good side of him. And a lot of people are like wondering, like, what exactly is going on with Bolvar? Who is the Lich King and who is Bolvar? And it seems like the Lich King over the years has become more of an entity of its own. If you remember from Spider-Man, you had like the symbiote that would take over the traits and character of the one that he hosts, and the powers he would take with him to the next host. It almost seems like the Lich King has become something like that. Something that needs a body in order to have a host. But that's purely my fan speculation. Headcanon. So far, just the whole Frost Decay questline, especially with the artifact, I was lore-gasming so much, man. It was so freaking good. But yeah. Do you think we will see more about Rexxar in Legion? We've seen Rexxar in the Hunter Order Hall. That's where he shows up, and he's just chilling there. Will he do more in Legion? I have no idea, mate. Only time will tell. So far, he seems to be a prop in the Order Hall. Answer me, Noble! Answer me! Why do you want to kill a fully powered Kill Jaden? We need to kill his legs first. He needs to get legs first. Let's start with that. Guess we gotta wait a more years, right? In the Keta cinematic, Deathwing seems to be in Deepholm when they put on his armor, as well as the quest in Deepholm seems to relate to that. But when he flies out from that in the cinematic, he flies over Aberdeen, but not Exodar. Then he's at Dwarf Dam, flying from Searing Gorge, and lastly he flies from north at Stormwind. That seems like the weirdest traveling path ever. Why didn't he just fly to Darnassus or Hyjal and burn down the world trees? Because this looked cooler, and it falls in the same category as in why didn't he just burn down everybody? This looked cooler, and it made for a longer expansion than we're instantly killed. Bad guys are not the smartest of people. Look at those beautiful Eridar models, by the way. Really cool. What did Gul'dan say to Uther when he stole his shoes? Your souls will be mine. What is the lore behind Old God Madness for Priest versus Shadow spell type? It's new lore, so it still needs to be explored. Right now it seems to fall in the same category as Cho'Gall. As in, you draw from the Old Gods, you draw from the Void. Now previously the Void and the Old Gods seemed to be separate. And like I said, this is new lore, so they're trying to combine it into two. And as a Shadow Priest, you embrace the madness, whereas a Disciplined Priest, you're on the edge of madness and you're edge of light. And as a Holy Priest, you're like, I don't want anything to do with the darkness, I'm gonna stay far away from that. The abilities are, you know, your resource bar is called Insanity. So that should say enough. You embrace the Old Gods and their ways, and you embrace the dark power. But I can't wait to see it more fleshed out. Right now only we have the Shadow Priest description on the Legion website. I can't wait to see more of that. I just subscribed. Tell me why. Hint, you are the Lord. Thank you very much, Gloomstar. Why can't rogues and papas not get children? Because paladins use protection, and rogues do it from behind. Welcome to Bad WoW Jokes Hour. I will be your host. How old do you think Trellian is? He must be 50 or something like that. They actually made a very interesting comment in the Marksmanship Hunter quest line about that. In which Farisa mentions that this deep in the Twisted Nether, time doesn't work the same as it does in our reality. So for all we know, they could have been there for centuries, they could have been there for millennia, or they could have been there for 5 minutes. We don't know. Now, Trellian isn't even mentioned in the questline. All you go in is for Illyria. So it kind of seems like they forgot about Trellian. And I'm hoping that as you go further through the Marksmanship questline, that more and more details are going to be revealed about that. For all we know, Trellian died of old age, and now all we have left is Illyria, who has been tortured for millennia. Who knows? Quite interesting. Looking forward to see more. I really enjoy your streaming, but is your schedule so tight you can't make streaming for sure? That is correct, Chodo Gaming. My priority goes to YouTube, and my lore videos take between 48 to 72 working hours to make. That entirely depends on what kind of video. It's an average, but my priority goes to those lore videos. My promise when it comes to streaming is I will stream once a week, and now with Legion Alpha it took off more because I want to bring out the Alpha information as fast as possible. I want to show you guys what you cannot see because you might not have access to the Alpha servers, and that's the reason why I stream it. I wish I could set up like the 7 days a week streaming schedule, sure, but that's just not realistic. My promise is once a week. This way, I don't have to feel bad for when I don't make it, and this way, I don't make any promises that I can't keep. And I think that's a better situation than when I say, for example, I'm gonna stream 6 days a week, and I don't make it. You know, that's also a situation you can't rely on. Have Illida made an appearance in person in Legion Alpha yet? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Only hearsay. Well, we did see his crystal, I suppose. In the Vault of the Wardens, his crystal goes like poof, but Illidan himself has not shown up yet. Do you know the reason why Worgen and Goblins can't be monks? Choice made by Blizzard. As in what races can be or can't be. I don't think there's an actual massive lore reason as to why they can't. No. I mean, gnomes can become monks, right? So why couldn't Goblins? And I believe even on the Legion Alpha, we've seen a Goblin monk in the Order Hall, so yeah. And Morphe and Chiller Games, thank you very much for the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone told me a data miner found a file for Azara, and she used to be in the game as a boss in the raid. Have you heard anything about this? Not that I remember. Like, I remember that they data mined an Azara model for patch 5.3, I think? Like the latest patch, but it was never implemented. Same for the Enderwin model that they're gonna use in Legion, if I remember correctly. Enderwin, like this massive model. But I haven't heard any details. There is going to be, of course, the Eye of Azara dungeon. She might make an appearance there. But I haven't heard anything about Azara actually becoming a boss with mechanics. Who knows? But haven't heard anything about it. What is your favorite mount? Do you have the big love rockets? I do not have... Do I have the big love rocket? I don't think so. Oh, do I have it? I don't have the in-game big love rockets, but my favorite mount is, of course, Invincible. Easy choice right there. What if Elune, Loa, and the Narus are all agents of the Titans to help us keep us safe without interfering too much? Could be. It's not impossible. I'm just wondering, do we have anything to support it? Like, the Naru are suggested because they're hellbent against the Legion. Elune has been suggested to be a Naru herself. Although the Night Elves don't want to believe that. And Loa fall more under the demigod category. And I think the Loa is where it becomes tricky. Because the demigods and the Loa, mainly in the novel Shadows of the Horde, is that they actually saw the shaping of Azeroth and the transformation. So it seems like they are more their own thing. But the Naru and Elune could definitely be a thing. What was your first tune in WoW? Did you finish leveling it or did you switch to another class? My first tune in WoW was a Night Elf Hunter. And I did finish leveling it up, yep. Yep. What do you think of the name Lotarian for a Paladin? Is that like a combination of Lotarian? I see Turellian in that, and Lothar. Is that a combination of that? That's kind of cool. Did you do a video for arms for the artifact and the other classes added to the latest build? I made videos about it, but it's going to be released over the course of next week. If you can't wait to see it, you can also check out the previous VODs on Twitch and see it there, but it's going to be released over the course of next week. How can the Holy Light unite all creatures, all souls, when something as monstrous, as cruel, and as purely evil as the Orc Horde walk the world? Because the orcs are not from this world. They are from a different planet! And that is why, even though it makes fuck all sense, but whatever. What makes a world tree a world tree? I believe... I wonder if a world tree has to come from a seed of the mother tree Ganir. But I'm not entirely sure if they use that for the world tree in Northrend. If that's not the case, then I guess the answer would be how big it is. I guess. But I think it has to do with the world tree Ganir. Are the elemental planes a part of Azeroth, or is it other planets? It's more different dimensions, similar to the Twisted Nether. Whereas it's like and the Emerald Dream, it's a whole different realm created by the Tidekeeper Raden. And they used it to give the elemental lords and the elements a place to wage war with each other, and where they can just chill without destroying the world. So it's not so much a different world, as it's not part of Azeroth, yet it is, but it's more a different plane. Is the artifact weapon for Holy Paladin Ufig's weapon? Shall we check it out? Because I don't remember the top of my head. Let's go to the Legion website, shall we? Artifact weapon preview. Holy, the Silver Hand. As one of the Titanic Watchers, Keeper Tyr bore this weapon in countless battles against the Titan's enemies. When one of his fellow keepers, Loken, fell to corruption, Tyr and his allies stole the Disc of Norganon to investigate the extent of Loken's betrayal. Discovering the theft, Loken sent horrific monsters after Tyr's group, but Tyr sacrificed his life to fight the creatures while his comrades escaped with the discs. His hammer was lost with him, somewhere beneath the land, now named his honor. Tyr is fall. So, no. No. Let's see. What do you think will happen to the other dragon aspects? Now we already see Kalik and what they did to Ysera. Very hard to say what time is gonna bring, mate. It's, I was hoping for more of the aspects to either get their powers back and realize what a mistake they made at the end of the Cataclysm. But it seems like they're not backing down from that decision, and they're dropping like flies, so time will tell, I suppose. And Yojaru, thank you very much for subscribing. Does Vol'jin have a son or a daughter? I believe he has a son, although it could also simply be a mess up in the questline description. For those that didn't realize this yet, and I also found out like a week or two ago, there is a quest which was revamped with the Cataclysm. And there was this troll looking for someone, and they made it that he was looking for his chieftain's son. Either son or child, but I think it was son. So all of a sudden Vol'jin has a kid. We don't know who the mother is, we don't know where the kid came from, but apparently Vol'jin has a kid. Does Kil'jaeden appear under the Subtlety Rogue artifact questline finally prove the much questioned One Legion All Realities? Not necessarily. Because I don't think it's so much of a question anymore. The question is not, is there one Legion for all realities? Because that seems to be the case. The decision that they made, for those that don't know, is the Twisting Nether transcends all realities, right? But the question more is, does that mean that we have one Legion with simply one character for every dimension, every reality? Or are there multiple duplicates? Are there a bazillion Archimons that they can send out? Or a bazillion Kil'jaedens? And I didn't see anything in that questline suggesting one way or the other. I don't believe Kil'jaeden actually recognized us or acknowledged us as those that pushed him down during the Sunwell raid. So that's still up for grabs. I'm hoping that the Warcraft Chronicles are going to give more of an answer to that. But we'll see. And Adam Hellscream, welcome, welcome. Do you think the undead will ever be paladins, and how would that work? I hope not. I think it's worse enough that the undead can actually wield the light. Like, the light was such a counterpart to the Scourge, but they made the decision that they can. Now, I personally hope not, but can they? Sure. But that's entirely up to Blizzard. I mean, if they can explain or justify how the Scourge and the Forsaken can use the light, I believe in this case only Forsaken, but the undead can use the light, then, you know, they're already undead warriors. Why not make undead paladins? They could. Would it work? Not really. But like I said, Forsaken light wielders don't work on its own, and they just gave a spin to it. Like, yeah, you can if you have the conviction for it. It just hurts you a lot. Yeah. We already know how Nosdormu is gonna die. Still up for grabs though, Artemis, because we don't know if he actually changed the future during the Cataclysm. We don't know if the whole Moruzan storyline is still gonna happen, or if that has been changed with Nosdormu losing his powers. What do you think Vol'jin will be up to in Legion? It's suggested by data mine information that Vol'jin is looking for allies. And at the same time, we had a questline that said that Vol'jin was first missing in action. And then later it said that Vol'jin was actually dead. My personal speculation is that Darkspear never died. And that Vol'jin is missing in action, that they simply give up hope and they say that he died. And that he's still out there trying to find some sort of ally, and then later on throughout the expansion he comes back with like King Rastakhan and the Zandalari that are remaining, and we team up with them. That could be pretty damn cool, but only time will tell, mate. For all we know, he's actually dead and Sylvanas is trying to get his soul back from Helia, or he has decided to abandon the Horde and live the party life. Who knows? Goblin is too greedy to be monk and Worgen is too savage. I suppose, but if a monk can wield the light because it's for profit, then, you know. You seem very calm for the typical noble stream. This is true, but then again, I've also been streaming for nearly 3 hours. And I'm a bit sick, and I still need to eat. So there's your answer for that. Worgen still have the inner beast, so they're not balanced enough to be monks. I suppose. In the book, Khadgar got his life sucked out of him, so he looked old. He really old, or does he just look old? In the book, he was like 17, and then turned, so he is a 17-year-old boy in an old man's body. I believe by now, Khadgar is actually caught up to the age that Medivh transformed him into. And it seemed like he was literally draining the life out of Khadgar, aging him faster so he would die faster. But it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like he just aged him, like physically, only cosmetically made him look older and actually improved his abilities and his skills. So now Khadgar has caught up to the age that he was transformed into. Still very powerful. And a lot of people ask, like, how does that work with the whole new model? He actually looks younger instead of older. And I think that's just the design choice that they made for the new model. They were like, you know what, we want to make Khadgar look a little bit more cool and smooth and all that. But he's still that age. When Legion comes out, will you and Miss Fury be carrying on your Let's Play? Absolutely, Bank. Well, I say absolutely if everything goes according to plan. And it is the plan to continue with. Do you think Tess Greymane and Anduin will get married? Only time will tell. Maybe. Why do you think the Forsaken did not use the Scourge type of plague, kill and raise, and instead was bothered by killing everyone and raising them with the Valkyrs? Part of that explanation could be because they couldn't. The Worgen blood prevents them from being raised by the plague and by the Valkyr. They can only be raised by Arthas apparently and his necromancers. Part of that could also be because they want to be a little bit different than those that actually enslave them. They want to give them a choice. Because it's such a good explanation. You drag someone from heaven or hell, wherever they get sent to. And you be like, yeah, you got a choice now. You get a choice. You can either join us and kill your friends and family. You can go away and just live your life in exile. Or you can return to the grave. And naturally, everybody chooses to kill their friends and families. Because fuck the Alliance. Of course you would. If the Ancients are the progenitors of some races on Azeroth, could Niaozao be the Tauren Ancient? It has been confirmed that the Celestials are also Ancients, like Ursak and Goldrin. Has that been confirmed, Adam? Did they tweet about it or something? Because I might have missed that confirmation that they're actually in the same category as demigods. Makes sense, though. Could Niaozao be the origin of the Tauren? It could be. But we don't know the Tauren, so anything can go. If you want to say that the Tauren were first created by the Titans, or something else, then that's also a possibility. What is my favorite meal? Steak, raw, baked potatoes, and salad. Oh, so good. Do you have any Draenei characters? No. I'm gonna go with no. What do you think about the casual kill Jaden summoning in the Subtlety Artifact quest? I mean, it's casual because it is the Twisted Nether, so it's probably a little bit easier. I mean, I say it's the Twisted Nether. Yeah, it was, I think they described it as a citadel within the Twisted Nether, so that should be it. That makes it a little bit easier. It seemed pretty damn casual, though. Kill Jaden just appears, and he's like, what up? And then he's like, okay, you get a little bit of extra power now. And then he pieces out again. It's like, what? Why didn't he stay? But there you go. It was cool to see him, though. It was cool to see him pop up. What are the Titan Keepers exactly, and why did they play such a part in Legion? Captain Shield, I've answered this in one of the Q&As in greater detail, especially when it comes to the storyline of Ulduar. Titan Keepers are Titan creations charged with either shaping or creating the world or safeguarding it, depending on what Keeper we're talking about. The Keeper Raden was the one who created the Elemental Plane. And if you remember Raden from Mr. Pandaria with the whole Lei Shen storyline, you gotta wonder, like, how powerful was Lei Shen? In the case of Legion, we see two Titan Keepers. You have Odin, and you have another one. Not Helia, but there's like this Valkyrie lady. The name escapes my mind right now. Odin is the representation of course, the Odin in our mythology as we know him. And the other lady, I'm not sure from the top of my head. I would have to look it up. And why did they play such a big role? Because Blizzard decided to go back to the Valkyrie of the... Yeah, Valkyrie, Tolvir. Alright, now we need to find the name. The origins of the humans. Way back then, their King Yimmeron of the Vrykul, thank you, decided to go back to the Vrykul storyline. And in this case, the Vrykul with all Halls of Valor and Helheim. I believe it's part of the Norse mythology. And that's because they decided to go with that storyline. Bigger isn't always better, ain't that the truth? If Vol'jin dies, who's going to be the new race leader? Are there even other stronger trolls? I mean, orcs didn't get a new race leader, did they? So if Vol'jin dies, then the trolls don't really need a new race leader. But who could be picking up? Wasn't there Rokan? The one that joined Vol'jin in Warcraft 3? Maybe he would be a good position. So yeah. I would say that. Otherwise they have like Sylvanas as the war chief. Like all hail Sylvanas. And Shavoko, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome, welcome. I want to know what you think of BB if your hair had feelings. I'm okay with my hair having feelings, as long as they can't communicate it. It would be great. What is your favorite raid boss, excluding lore, only mechanics and fun level? For me, my favorite will always be Nefarian from Classic Blackmail Lair, because that was the last time that I actually raided and did my best to kill bosses. But I have to give some love to the newly designed bosses for Warlords of Draenor. I had a lot of fun, especially like the whole Eye of Anzu fight. That was really cool, but there were so many cool mechanics that were introduced in Warlords that as much shit as I like to give the expansion, raiding has definitely been up there. Are you going to BlizzCon this year? Entirely depends, Itashin, if I can get my finances and if I can find a time for it. I'm not 100% certain yet because it is a big time investment. It takes like 24 hours to get there and the price is between 3,000 to 5,000 bucks, which is a lot of money. But if I can organize it and if I can get it done, I would love to go because I had the time of my life at BlizzCon. How old is Garrosh compared to Thrall? I don't know his exact age, but I do know that Garrosh is around 10 to 15 years older than Thrall. He was in his teens when Thrall was born. Will Sylvanas raise Liam Greymane as a FU to Gen? I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but Sylvanas... I still stick with the motivation of Sylvanas wanted to stay alive. And pissing off someone like Gen Greymane even more than she already has would make for an interesting storyline, but I'd imagine if you want to stay alive, you don't want to piss off people, right? Do you sleep with a teddy bear or teddy bear or similar? Nope. I sleep all alone. In the cold darkness of my bed. With nothing surrounding me but the maddening whispers of the old gods. Telling me to tell their stories and tales. Telling me to continue their journey and corrupt the world with more lore. That's what I sleep with. What do you think will happen with Vol'jin? Where is he now? Will he come back with the help of the Zandalari or the Loa? I actually answered this near the start, Shavoko. My speculation is the Vol'jin is currently looking for help with King Rastakhan and the Zandalari, and he will later make a return. But it's entirely up for grabs. If you want to say the Vol'jin is actually dead or he's having a holiday, all very possible. Which lore is easier for you? Elven lore, like High Elves, Blood Elves, Night Elves, or Troll lore? I would say Elf lore. Because I'm actually working on the story of Vol'jin part 2 and 3. And I could dive deeper into the lore. It's just that Troll lore isn't that big, despite them playing such a huge role in the storyline. Like, the Troll Empire was one of the first and biggest on Azeroth. But if you look at it now, their storylines come down to, yeah, they enslaved their primal spirits and gods. They got their ass handed to them. And now they're nearly destroyed. That's pretty much the Troll lore right now. And it's like, okay, cool. But I'm definitely more familiar with the Elven lore than the Troll lore, yeah. Elves are magically transformed trolls. Not all of them, though. Dark trolls, not forest trolls or jungle trolls or sandstorms. So it's dark trolls that evolved into the Night Elves. You didn't do Sunwell back then. It's understand that he doesn't recognize you. Right. How can Undead Priest exist? Because Blizzard made it so. Have you ever broken a bone in your body? Yeah, I broke my right arm when I was little. Story behind that is I went skating with my brother. And we were at this playground and there was this pit. And I rolled into the pit. And I tried to catch myself. And I was about the same way as I am today. At that age. I tried to catch myself. And it felt like my arm ended up in some sort of black pit. And I was like, wow, that's weird. That feels really weird. I couldn't push myself up anymore. And then I realized, like, wow, that's an odd angle. And I broke my arm. I don't know if I can show you. Can I show you? Hang on. Can you see it? I don't know. But that's still the scars of the stitches over there. So I broke my arm. And I came home and I was like, Mommy! My arm fell off! And went to the doctor. Went to the hospital. And they immediately put me in surgery. They put me under. And I woke up late at night to the bleeping sound of a heart monitor next to me. I pissed the bed. So a nurse came in and they changed the bed for me. Went back to sleep. And the next day I had my arm like this. And it was in grade 3. Which sucked because at that time you like develop your skills in writing. And I couldn't write with my right arm, so I had to go do it with my left arm and it sucked. And when I had to take the stitches out, I made so much noise that people in the waiting room were like, oh my god. So yeah. Also my pens that they put in eventually came out, so they had to re-put them in. It's amazing. But that's the only bone I've ever broken in my body. Do you think it's possible Vol'jin is uniting the troll tribes and that's why he's missing? Well, there aren't that many troll tribes left. Like, he could go for the Zandalari and try to get support, but if you remember during Mr. Pandaria how we went into the raid and we kicked the crap out of nearly every troll that showed up. There shouldn't be that many trolls left. Unless there are whole new tribes on the other side of Azeroth, but yeah. But anything's possible. It's Blizzard their story. If they want to design more trolls, they can design more trolls. It's 2 in the morning. I need to work in 3 hours, so I'll be off now. Nice being on the stream. Get well soon. Thank you very much, Yoko. Good luck at work tomorrow. Could a Sargeras be using the same kind of spell on Khadgar as the Warlock used on Raxkar's pet, but Medivh held him back from killing Khadgar? Yeah, the draining of life spell, the same thing that they used to age their children. Yeah, that's definitely possible. It's only the age doesn't seem to reflect in actual time period, as in years taken away from his life because he just keeps on rocking. What is my favorite Easter egg in WoW? There are a lot of them, but I really like the Hedge from Lost. But Lincoln in Unguro Crater, I think he's removed by now, but there used to be a Link NPC in Unguro Crater. I loved him as well. And you could do like the quest line, you get a little picture with him in front of Stormwinds. It's cool. I love that one. Who are the Pygmies? Pygmies were a race introduced for Uldum. And the rest I have to look up because I don't know from the top of my head. Oh yeah, the Lost Isle as well. The pygmies on the Lost Isle are found by the Bilgewater Cartel goblins after the goblins escape from Kazan. The pygmies have enslaved the monkeys on the island to mine Kazhamite. They worship Volkanov and transform some goblins into zombies by sucking out their life force, while others are sacrificed to their god. The pygmies are planned to release Volkanov upon the town in a box, but are unable to do so. In Uldum, after the player follows Adra, Bud and Nedrek and the others on the camel caravan into Uldum to help them steal ancient artifacts, the caravan is ambushed by pygmy mercenaries. The pygmies bring the prisoners into Neverzet Tolvir, who pay the pygmies with coconuts. Pygmies are small humanoid creatures about the size of goblins. Their skin ranges in many tones, of peach to dark brown. Pygmies on the Lost Isles can be seen riding turtles, and many wear helmets fashioned from turtle shells. Turtle shells can also be seen in their architecture, ranging from giant shells serving as huts to relatively small ones adorning torches. Pygmies appear to have their own language. And if you want more information, go to Wikipedia Pygmy. So yeah, it's not that much lore to tell, unfortunately. Where were we? Let me see. Even with the new PvP system coming in Legion, do you feel the PvPers deserve a new battleground? Sure, if they want one. But then again, what I've heard from PvPers and the feedback that they've given is that they'd rather see PvP become more balanced and interesting than a new setting in which they could do their PvP in. But that's just the feedback that I've been reading. Who is older, Val and Kil'jaeden or Archimonde? Also, do you think Val and Kil'jaeden will meet in Legion? I believe they're about the same age, but I don't think they've ever given actual age to them. Do you think that Velen and Kil'jaeden will meet in Legion? Would be pretty damn cool. So far, Velen just shows up in the Priest Hall. That's about it, but time will tell. What novels are good to read first? Get this question all the time. My recommendation, as always, either War of the Ancients. It's a trilogy. It takes like half a book to get into, but once you do, it's so freaking good. Rise of the Horde, which leads into The Last Guardian, Tides of Darkness, Beyond the Dark Portal, and Lord of the Clans. It tells about the first Horde all the way to the formation of the Alliance of Lordaeron, to Thrall stepping up and reforming the Horde. Very good history, very good novels. And then finally, my recommendation right now is War Crimes, because it wraps up the event of Mr. Pandaria and leads into Warlords of Draenor. But that's gonna change when the Illidan novel comes out, and I'll recommend Illidan, probably. Probably. Like, dude, chill. Like, chill. Who is all? Oh, we done that one. Who are the leper gnomes? Leper gnomes are gnomes that were in Gnomeregan when Galbin Mechatork versus... Who was the end boss of Gnomeregan again? I don't remember. I've done a video on him. The story of the gnomes. Anyways, they were hit by the radiation and they became leper gnomes. Do you think Gallywix will have anything to do with Legion? Maybe even just a model? Would be nice. So far, I haven't seen him yet. Nope. Raffi Bloodline. Any lore on that? Them. The Raffi Bloodline, Foradin, was the first to unite the humans into one faction. They teamed up with the High Elves and they fought the Troll Wars together. After that, Foradin went on his own quest to find more about the origin of the humans, whereas the High Elves remembered their debt to the humans. Many years later, we have Anduin Lothar step up, who uses that connection to, to get the, or at least he doesn't, it's actually King Taranis that uses it, to get the High Elves to offer their support to the Alliance of Lordaeron. In between there, I don't think we have that much, to be honest. When an expansion comes out on launch day, do you rush to get the level cap or do you go slow and read the quest? For me, it's rushing to get to the level cap, because I do the whole questing and reading the storyline when I'm on the alpha beta, and for me the fun is to see how fast I can do it. During Mr. Pandaria I actually got the Realm First achievement because of that, but at the same time I also need to get to max level because I want to record all the artifacts, I want to get the storyline out, and it's just, you know, it's gotta be done. Do we have any interaction with the old gods in Warlords of Draenor? No. It was suggested with Anzu in Spires of Arak. That Anzu was communicating with the creatures of the Abyss, and he found them dull, but they never followed up in that storyline. You told us earlier that you've paid more attention to the new models. What do you think of Xavier's model? Personally, I'm not a fan. Why does he look like that? I actually said that I didn't pay that much attention to the new models when they did the whole Mr. Midoriya update. Or Warlords update, I think. My comparison was actually to the view distance. And I noticed the view distance a lot more than I did with the new models. What do I think of Xavier's model? I don't mind it, to be honest. He has like two models. One is the Satyr model that he uses for outside of the dream. And then there's the Nightmare model, where it seems he has like a chain attached to his tail. But they also said that the Nightmare is more translucent. Like, we don't have to take it as set in stone, because he can look like whatever he wants. I don't know. Is it what I imagined it when I read Storm Rage? No, not really. But when I read Storm Rage, I imagined this ghastly hunter kind of creature that just floated around, not a big blob monster. Oh yeah. Do you think the Undermine on Kazan would have been a better order haul for rogues? Maybe, but that would have involved bringing you back to Kazan. And I would love to see Kazan be retaken by the goblins during the Dark Below expansion. Whereas we can take like Gilneas for the Alliance, something like that. That'd be kind of cool. I would have seen Ravenhold Manor as a rogue haul, to be honest. Do messages get banned if written in Orcish? You could try. Which zone is your ultimate favorite to quest in? Ooh, hard to say. I mean, I really like Lakeshire and I like the whole Cataclysm revamp. But I think I'm gonna go with all the Warlords of Draenor zones except for Spires of Arak. I did not like Spires of Arak. Oh, I'm browsing through the different one again. Hang on, here we go. Probably did it twice now. Did you know the Night Elves were named Kelderai at some point? Yeah. If so, do you know why and what reasons? Supposed to be, well of eternity. Wasn't it in their own language that they were called Kelderai and then Sindorai and all that? Isn't that just their language? Warlock Trolls, are they hexers or witch doctors? Someone actually asked me this on Facebook the other day. And now I don't remember. It has something to do with... Hang on. Troll Warlocks. Troll Warlocks date back to the Zandalari demoniacs who seek to embody power outright and not just possess it. While Warlocks tread dangerous grounds in dealing with demons, demoniacs take it one step further. They allow demons to enter their bodies through an ancient and arcane ritual. Rather than let demons possess them, the demoniacs enslave the demons from the inside, absorbing the power of the beast for their own command. It is a feat very few were able to master, and more than one has lost the fight, but the power they are able to unleash is worth the sacrifice. The Gurubashi Empire, which the Dark Spear Trolls were once part of, contained warlocks such as Hukuku. Yes, Hukuku. But it seems like it was just something that goes back to the olden days of the Troll Empires. And then it says, it is possible that some Zandalari demoniacs became a part of the Gurubashi Empire. The Dark Spear Trolls who left the Gurubashi might have retained some knowledge of the demonic arts from the demoniacs or the Gurubashi Warlock. So that's, it goes back to the olden days, and that's where they say that the Dark Spear Trolls could have gotten it from. Let's see. Do you think that the Titans are the true evil because they didn't give their creations a will, and the old gods gave them free will? No, I think good and evil is in the eye of the beholder. I think for the players, as in the races that we play as, the Titans are the good guys. They created life, and they actually, for some of them anyways, they created the origin, right? Whereas the old gods, they gave them the curse of flesh, which did give them free will, sure. But why did they give them the curse of flesh? Because they wanted to manipulate and corrupt them and bring chaos. So I think for the player base, you want to side with the Titans, even though the Titans are not perfect, not at all. But they seem to be the better evil when it comes to the Old Gods or the Legion. And how do you grab Twitch? Lore-wise, if I want to do all the quest lines and all the zones, is it best to begin in Kalimdor or the Eastern Kingdoms? Doesn't matter, mate. With the revamp, they made it so that each zone tells its own storyline, but you do want to do it in the ways of how you would do it as you level up. As in, stick to the levels required. Otherwise, you might end up, for example, I don't know, Lakeshire, where you meet John Kashan for the first time. He later shows up in the Burning Steppes, I believe. So if you go to the Burning Steppes first, then you're like, who is this guy? And Gravi Twitch and Pits, both of them 20 months in a row. Holy snap, guys. Both of you, thank you so much for that continued support. It is very much appreciated. Noble, in the Horde, which race has the biggest military might? Orc, Trolls, or Forsaken? Forsaken for sure, mate. Orcs just dealt with Civil War, whereas the Trolls were already very few to begin with, and also fought in that Civil War. Whereas the Forsaken, they've just been resurrecting more undead. What in your opinion would be the end boss for Legion? Kill Jaden or something bigger? I think a fully powered Kill Jaden could definitely be up there. Otherwise, Avatar Sargeras could also make for a very interesting fight. Kafun was imprisoned in Ankiraj, but what is the Egyptian thing is supposed to be? It's Guardian or something like that? How did they become corrupted? So, Ankiraj in the olden days was actually a Titan facility run by the Ramkahet, like the lion creatures from Uldum, and they became corrupted, I believe, by Kafun himself and his Akir forces, and that's how they are now evil. Was Kafun imprisoned within Ankiraj though? That's up for speculation, because the prophecy of Kafun speaks about a Titan that fell and an old god that fell in the desert of Silithus. But did the Titans then pick up Kafun and imprison him? Or, yeah, it's a weird story. It's also very old lore. But the whole corruption thing, that was because of Kafun and his forces. Would you like to see the Rubian Empire on the Northrend at some point? Yeah. All of it? Absolutely. We've seen fair few bits already, but sure. Will Raffion be in Legion, do you think? And if so, what will he do to you think? Yes, he's in Legion. He is in the High Mountain storyline. Check out my video if you haven't checked it out yet. What he does there is he disguises himself as this member of the tribe, of the Tauren tribe. And he joins adventurers as they go into the Vault of Neltharion. And there he finds uncorrupted black dragon eggs locked away in a time pocket. And he takes them away and he's like, thank you, hero. I will keep these safe, and the future of the Dragonflight might be awesome. So that's actually really interesting, because these dragon eggs predate the corruption of Deathwing and the rest of the flight. So they are like Raffion, so he will no longer be the only uncorrupted dragon. After that, he shows up in the vault of in the lair of Neltharion dungeon, Neltharion's lair. Doesn't really do much though. He just walks with you and joins you in your battle. But yeah, that's what he does. Who was the first monk in WoW lore? I find the Pandaria, but no name. That was, I think, Kang, Fist of the First Dawn. That was the first monk. Lore Walker Cho actually tells a tale about him. Rise of the Lich King was one of the best books I've read. Loved it. It was a very good book. If WoW ended, which expansion would you have wanted it to end on? None? Can I pick none as an option? But I think Legion could make a very good ending. Like explode the world and all that. But so far, like Cataclysm wouldn't do it justice and Warlords wouldn't have done it justice. Mr. Pandaria could have been a good ending. I really like Mr. Pandaria, but it was such an open ending, like you couldn't end it there. Then it would be Wrath the Lich King that I could have ended on. Do you like Kartoffel? Yeah, Kartoffel is good enough. What about Nomedagon? It's been so long. I know, man. I know. Ravenhold Manor was burned to the ground during the Rogue Legendary quest, though. Yeah, we can rebuild it. Why did the Titans kill the old gods? Why do we have to do it? The Titans... This is my interpretation, so don't take it as set in stone. What we saw with the Yashiraj storyline of Mr. Pandaria is that Yashiraj was actually struck down by the Titans. And in response, he unleashed his final breath attack. He infected the land of Pandaria with the Shah, and now whenever someone felt strong emotions, they empowered the Shah, and the Shah would run rampant. Now imagine that happening all over Azeroth. The planet would become uninhabitable, and, you know, they had to destroy it and start all over again. So instead of killing them, they decided to imprison them. That's my interpretation, though. That's never really been confirmed. Who do you think would win, Vol'jin or Sylvanas? Ooh, I would say Sylvanas, because she has extra lives and that's just cheating. Although Vol'jin does have Bonsumdi on his side. Would be a close call though. Do you have a favorite companion pet in the game? Nope. Can Bane use any kind of magic? No. What makes you ask that? What races have their lore public in the stories told of Azeroth, and which of them have you covered? I don't know what you mean by the first bit, but so far I've covered a fair few, mate, like Naga, Draenei, Gnomes. Just check out my Lore of Warcraft playlist or the Lore of Warcraft Reversed. You'll see which one I've done. Do you think the Legion is allied with the Titans and that we will fight a whole army of Titans in the future expansion? Hard to say what the Titans are doing. On Twitter they said that the Titans are still floating around out there. So it doesn't seem like they've joined Team Legion. But who knows, man. Blizzard tweets out a lot of things. I would almost say, like, don't take Twitter set in stone. But it's just people from Blizzard actually tweeting it. So it's kind of hard to ignore it. So yeah. But will we fight an army of Titans in a future expansion? Even if they don't team up with the Burning Legion. If you remember the Elgalon fight in Ulduar. Like, we already go against the plan of the Titans. And Elgalon was able to see reason because of that. He saw that because of the flaws in the design that we were actually better than intended. But will the Titans see the same? Or do we first have to smack some sense into them? Who knows? Do you think Illidan will get his Well of Eternity water hit from Resto Shamans? Right? That he just walks up to the artifact to be like, this is mine now, give it to me. Do you make the rating more bearable? Thank you for being you and for being awesome. Aw, Element Lover, my pleasure. Happy that you're enjoying yourself. Do you think we'll ever get Nomedagon as a city? Hard to say, man. I would love that, but hard to say. What would you like to see most in the WoW Chronicles? On the one hand, I'm very curious about the details when it comes to the origin of Azeroth, the origin of the Old Gods, the origin of the Titans, like origin lore. But on the other hand, once it's revealed, you can no longer speculate about it, right? Which kind of takes away the fun. So I'm two-sided on that. I would like to know more about the origin and have some more security in that. But I also like to keep it a surprise. The one thing I would love to see more information on is the whole Twisted Nether transcends all realities. I would like that bit explained, like why, and I would like to explain, see explained if we have one legion or multiple legions. That's something that I would like to see. Who do you think is the coolest old god? Yaxaran, because he's in Northrend. I like all of them so far. There hasn't been an old god that's been disappointing. But we killed the old gods, so shouldn't the thing that happened yesterday happen? No, we didn't kill the old gods, mate. We pushed their physical manifestations back into their prison. This is mainly clear with the K'Voon storyline, where we killed K'Voon, but then in the comics he still whispered and corrupted, so it was clear that K'Voon was still out there. The same goes for Yaxaran, because the Titan Keepers say, like, we will guard him now. The only one that we've truly killed and dealt with is Y'Shaarj. But that's after Garrosh reinvigorating its powers, blowing up the Veil, absorbing the powers, and we kicking the crap out of Garrosh. Y'Shaarj is completely gone. And even the Shah has been removed from the land, and over time it will heal. What is your favorite artifact and haul up to now? My favorite artifacts... I really like the Ashbringer, of course, but that's because I'm a paladin. The Frost Decay is really up there. And I love the questlines involving Chen and Lily. Be it the Monk questline or the Shaman questline, I like both of them. I really had a lot of fun playing through them. Best Order haul, very hard to pick. I love the Warlock planet because you freaking dominate and conquer a planet of your own. But the Druid one also looks really, really cool. Do you think, Nastrok, thank you very much for subscribing, by the way, be welcome. Do you think that after they build and shape a planet that the Titans have to rest, and that is why we have not seen them do anything about the Legion? It's possible, or they just traveled very far away, and they are too far away to instantly come back. No more Goblin Mech Hunter? What do you mean, Adam? Noble Illidan plus Maiev is J? Yeah? They know nothing. Greetings! Nastorok, howdy howdy. Which character do you think would be the most epic fight if they fought each other? epic? Crap. I'm scrolling the wrong one again. I'm sorry everybody, by the way, who are watching the recording. I'm scrolling the wrong chat room again. I mean, we already saw the Thrall Garrosh fight. That was pretty damn epic in my opinion. Who would be epic to see? Anduin versus Raffion. I would love to see that fight. Let's just see that fight. Or Eladon versus Maiev could also be pretty damn cool. Manor of Daily. Visit Orcs for Blood, right? We only have Legion. That was confirmed by Prince back in the Burning Crusade. We only have one Legion. It seems that way, Artemis. But during my Blizzard headquarters tour, I was actually able to ask a question. Now, unfortunately, I didn't catch the Q&A that they did during BlizzCon. But I actually asked them, like, what's the deal with the Twisted Nether Transcending Realities and only one Legion and still sticking to the same plan even though they know it fails? And the person that I talked to said, yeah, but what if there's not only just one Archimon but multiple Archimons, and what would open up in that possibility? It doesn't make a lot of sense, because the developers seem to hint that it was our Archimon that we fought. Even Archimon himself seems to hint like that he knows us, but yeah, it just seems weird. I am hoping that the Chronicles will give more. Do you think the Warcraft movie should be a trilogy covering the second and third wars? Yeah, it could be cool. Kinda depends on how it goes, of course. Like, is it popular enough to make a second or a third one? But sure, I'll be down for that. Story of the Lich King in the theaters? Hell yeah. Oh, Gnome versus Goblin Mech Hunter. Which race would you prefer to play? I'll take Goblin. Illidan plus Maiev, right? Who do you think would win, Bane or Varian? I would give it to Varian because of experience. Would Grum be on Garrosh or Thrall's side? Old Grum would be on Garrosh's side. Older Grum would be on Thrall's side. Who do you think would win between Sargeras and Yogg-Saron? Sargeras. I think if the old gods team up with each other, then they will be able to put up a fight against Sargeras. But one-on-one, I mean, no. No, I would give that one to Sargeras, yeah. But then again, you know, this is my interpretation, eh? Power levels always depend on what the story requires. So it's very hard to say who would win what. I got like 4 minutes left, by the way. So, Daron, I'm just gonna mark yours up. Just to be sure. Let's see. Is it possible that every class can come back? We learned warriors have Valhalla, druids have the Emerald Dream, and warlocks could come back too. So is it possible that everyone is immortal? Well, Halls of Valor seems to be connected more to the Vrykul than just warriors in general. Emerald Dream, we've only seen demigods make a return. I don't remember any other druids actually make a return. And warlocks can come back too. I mean, warlocks can do the whole soulstone thing. But becoming so demonic that your soul goes to the Twisted Nether, that seems to be more a demon hunter thing and not so much a warlock thing. Now, I could be wrong. I could be missing information on that. But so far, that seems to be the thing. Have you tried doing the Iron Man challenge? Yeah, I did it like in 2011 or 2012 during the Cataclysm period, where I was really, really bored. But I removed the video from YouTube due to copyright music under the video. I played it once on stream before. But I tried the Iron Man challenge before. Will I do it again? It seems like everybody and their mother is doing the Iron Man challenge right now, so I'll stay busy with Alpha and stories, yeah. Now that we have Demon Hunters, what would be your next class to be announced? I'd go for Apothecary throwing around vials. I would still love to see a hero class for everyone. As in an upgrade questline where you can upgrade your druid to Arc Druid. Although I think they kind of went with that, right? Like in Legion they already call you Arc Druid, so maybe that's completely destroyed now. In that case, a Tinkerer could be cool, even though it's very close to engineering. No, I'll go with Dragon Sworn. Those connect... Although, like, the killing of dragon aspect, so that's also no longer possible. I want Dragon Sworn, damn it! Give me dragon powers! That would be my pick. Windwalker is Sven, and Brewmaster is Niaozao. Is Mistweaver Chi-Chi, Yulan, or both? It's the Red Crane, mate. Because their ability is also the Red Crane. So that's the healing one. Do you think we may see Illidan join the Night Elf City after this expansion, if he does redeem himself? I think that Illidan is going to sacrifice himself at the end of the expansion. As in, we have this portal, and perhaps Sargeras is trying to crawl out, or we need to close this portal, and Illidan unleashes his might and sacrifices his body. As Maiev looks on and be like, do it, Illidan! And Thrawn is like, no, Illidan, you mustn't! And Maiev is like, hush, that's my man! And then all my dreams come true. But hard to say what the future's gonna bring, mate. He could stay in one of the cities, sure. Tora, since we haven't got an explanation for Khadgar having a Tish, what is your main theory for him having it? My theory is that Khadgar simply became the Guardian. Medan came down from the heavens, and he said to Khadgar, Khadgar, nobody likes me. And I've learned that it is you who must be the Guardian, not me. Because it's a popularity thing. So here, have my power, have my weapon, I'm out. And then Khadgar became the Guardian. I would still love to see the adventures of Khadgar and Chromie, where Chromie and Khadgar together, they travel through time, they see what happens, what goes down, they learn that Medivh's vision as to there is no longer need for a Guardian was false, and they know that the Legion is coming, so they find Medan and they convince him to give up his powers. I think that would be brilliant, especially connected to the whole Warlords of Draenor legendary questline, where we see Khadgar and Chromie be buddy-buddy together. I think that would have been brilliant, but it never happened, unfortunately. Unfortunately so. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the 1 hour mark of the Q&A. I think we timed this really, really well. Ladies and gentlemen on the Twitch of the chat room, thank you all so much for your questions, as always. Ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, if you're watching this back and you're wondering, like, how can I get my question answered? You don't have to necessarily subscribe. Like, I appreciate it a lot, and it's a lot of fun and all that good stuff. But you don't have to in order to get your questions answered. You can always send me a PM on Facebook, and I'll get back to you whenever I can. Or you can just join me in one of the streams and ask questions there. I'm usually open for questions and give answers. Kind of depends on how the stream goes, though. So, ladies and gentlemen, chat room, thank you very much. I'm going to sign off this video. Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube, as always, subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, guys. See ya!